Hi all, let's see what is middleware in ASP.NET Core. A middleware is a component that can handle an HTTP request or response. Example, one piece of middleware handle authentication, another one handle errors, and another one handles static files, etc. The middleware components that we use to set up a request processing pipeline. This request process pipeline is configured in startup.cs file. Let's see. When you created a new ASP.NET Core application, you can see a folder structure like this. Here you can see startup.cs file. In startup.cs file, you can see configure services and configure method. Use this method to configure our HTTP request process pipeline. Before seeing this, let's see how middleware works. Middleware component in ASP.NET Core has access to both request and response. Consider these middleware were added in our configure method in startup.cs file. Here, when request is coming, this logging middleware maintain the time of the request, and here itself it decide call to next middleware or not. This is called as short circuiting. If I request an image file, it transfer to use HTTPS redirection middleware, and this middleware transfer to static files middleware, and there itself response create and send back to it without moving to use routing middleware. This is called as short circuiting. The middleware component in the pipeline are executed in order they are added to the pipeline. Order should be in right way, otherwise app should not work as expected. Let's see. These middleware were added default when created a new application. Here, use developer exception page or use exception handler middleware handle the exception of the application when occurred. When the environmental variable is development, then use developer exception page middleware redirect to exception page. When the environmental variable is staging a production, then use exception handler middleware redirect to error page of the home controller. Use HTTPS redirection middleware handle the redirection of HTTP request to HTTPS. Use static files middleware handle the static files of the application. Use routing middleware handle the routing of the application. Use endpoint middleware handle the endpoint of the application. That is, this endpoint middleware is responsible for execution of the endpoint. Here I mentioned the endpoint as index view of the home controller. That is, when the application started, it's redirect to index view of the home controller. Let's see. Here, our index view of the home controller is redirect successfully. You can change your endpoint here, mention the controller which you want and respective view of the controller. Instead of redirecting controller view, if you want to redirect any static files, that is HTML file, you should add that static file inside www root directory. The default files of the application is index.html or default.html. I want to redirect index.html file when application started. For that, add use default files middleware above use static files middleware. This middleware map index.html file and this use static files middleware create a response and send back to the server without moving to use routing middleware and use endpoint middleware. This is called as short circuiting. Let's run. Here the index.html file redirected successfully when application started. If you want to redirect any other file instead of default files, you should add that inside use default files middleware. For that, let's stop running. By using default file option class, mention the file which you want to redirect and assign that object inside use default files middleware. Let's check by running. Still it's redirected index.html file because it's stored in cache. And let's refresh and check. Here the main.html file redirected successfully when application started. So you can add or update middleware using Mujet Package Manager. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.